والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Hazur Qibla Pir Sahib, Your Royal Highness, Hazur Qibla Sahibzada Wala Shan, my brothers in Tariqat and in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As we are sat here in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the presence, not just in my view, but in view of many people here and many more across the world, sitting in the presence of a man of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, talking about and celebrating the greatest gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to creation. We are truly blessed that today, on the eve of the 12th of Rabiul Awwal, we are joining millions and billions of people across the world and many other different forms of creation who are all celebrating the Mawlid of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And why should we not? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Holy Quran that He has sent, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent to us a gift, a blessing from Him to us, and therefore we should show our thanks, gratitude and our happiness in His giving us this blessing. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam themselves sallallahu alayhi wa sallam approved the celebration of the giving of thanks and offering gratitude by His companions Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim ajma'een in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And such practices continued from the best of communities throughout the best of nations. And as we know, the scholars are the inheritors of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And as is true for inheritance, you take what is given to you and you pass it along to the next generation. Our shuyukh of the Bari Aliyah Idgah Sharif have been doing this for centuries, and if we go back through their lineage in their spiritual world, all the way back to Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala and then through him to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we have a strong and unbroken chain of transmission of the goodness and the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help me and help you all to benefit from the uncountable, unimaginable blessings that the men of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring to us. I offered a verse from the Holy Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that no matter how small a good deed that you do, it is recorded and weighted in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the smallest act that you might do of goodness is recorded and rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is good news for us, and this good news was brought to us by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And if we're not there are billions and trillions and gazillions, uncountable, infinite number of reasons why we should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But just in the few minutes that I have, if we just thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just for one sentence, this one piece of good news from the Holy Quran, that if you do the smallest good deed, it is recorded in and rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who brought us this good news? Nobody else other than Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Nobody that you know, and nobody that I know, other than Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, can bring such news, can guarantee such outcome for you and I, regardless of how sinful we are. Because it is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam who told us that on the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all His glory is written that His mercy transcends His wrath. So no matter how many mistakes and how many misgivings you and I have, because of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has told us through the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you do one good deed in the world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you for it. And that one deed doesn't now have to be for your parents, for your children, for your family, for your community. It doesn't even have to be for humanity. It could be any part of Allah's creation. I'll give you one example. We learn from our tradition that there is a lady who is laden with mistakes and sins. She has spent all her life committing all sorts of bad things that you and I could imagine, you and I have heard of, you and I could think about. She's living her life continuing to commit sin, continuing to commit sin, continuing to commit sin, continuing to do bad things. One day, it's an olden day story. One day, she comes to a well to take out some water to quench her thirst. As she is quenching her thirst, she sees a dog, a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a dog who is thirsty for water, recognizes the water, sees the well, but as he reaches over the well, he knows that if he reaches any further, he's going to fall into the well. He approaches the well and steps back because he's so scared he's going to fall in. So this lady, who has spent all her life committing every bad thing and every bad sin that you and I can imagine, she looks at the dog and there is a sense of compassion that is awoken in her. That as she has taken the water from the well and quenched her thirst, she also takes the water out and gives the dog some sips of the water. So you take one good deed, one small good deed, a few drops of water that she has given to this dog. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so pleased with that one small action of this lady who has mountains of sins that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, again, every single thing that you will hear, every good thing that you and I will ever hear is traced back to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam informs us that this lady, overburdened with sin, one small good act to any part of Allah's creation, she finds her way to heaven. She finds her way to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So why should